If you want to use Calendly to book meetings, sales appointments, and consultations on autopilot without all the back and forth, I'm going to show you how to set it up and put it on your WordPress website in a few simple steps. So we're all familiar with how scheduling meetings online normally goes. There's an email form, somebody calls you out of the blue, there's some back and forth saying, hey, does this time work for you? No, that doesn't work for me. Let's do another time. What time zone is that? Is that Eastern? Is that Pacific? And the benefit of using Calendly or similar software is that it allows you to say when you're available, and then it lets the other people that you're trying to book a call with choose a time that works best for them. In the meantime, it takes care of time zones, so no matter where they are in the world, it's going to automatically adjust for them, show them in terms of their own time. It takes care of the reminders. For the meeting, it sets up links automatically to Zoom or GoToMeeting, whatever you're using. It allows you to set buffers in between your meetings so they're not too close together. It helps you sell more by making sure that there's not as much friction in the sales process. So without all the back and forth, you're able to have more meetings and make the sales process a lot smoother. And it works with most calendars that most people use: Google Calendar, Outlook, Office, iCloud. Who is a Calendly integration for? There's some businesses that it doesn't work well for, and some that it does that we've talked to. So typically it works best for businesses and people that need to have scheduled appointments or consultations because they're selling higher ticket items, higher ticket projects that need the formality of a introductory consultation and then maybe some discovery or some additional consultation after that. It doesn't work as well for people that are selling high value or high volume products or services that don't require that formality of a consultation that pretty much anybody is a good fit. It works well for people that want to cut out the back and forth in scheduling meetings because they have a lot of them. And it works well for people that are actually able to take meetings and stick to a schedule. If you're out in the field too much doing work and you can't stick to a schedule, and you can't stick to the defined time slots because Calendly requires you to set your availability ahead of time. So if you can't stick to that availability, it's not going to work that well for you. This is the Calendly homepage, and to get started, you just want to click sign up if you don't already have an account. Alright, so once you've logged in, signed up and logged in, this is the first screen that you're going to see. This is where you set your Calendly URL, which is the web address that you're going to be able to send to people so they can see your calendar. You'll notice here that it's set to my time zone wherever they are, the person that you're sending the link to. It's going to adjust to their time zone. This next step, we're going to set up link Calendly to our calendar. In my case, let's use Google. And it's asking us to give permission to view and edit our calendar so that it can add events to our calendar, which is an important function of Calendly. So we'll click allow. Here is where you can start to set your basic availability. The easiest thing to do for now is to set it a wide range, and we'll be able to specify specific times for specific types of events later in the setup process. So for now, let's leave it Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So the first thing we're going to want to do when we sign into our Calendly account is set up a new event type. So you'll notice there are some default ones here. Already we've got a 15-minute meeting, a 30-minute meeting, and a 60-minute meeting. So to walk through an example, let's set it up from scratch here. Gives you a couple options. You have one-on-one, which obviously is just you and one other person, and then group, which is especially useful for if you're doing webinars, presentations, classes, that kind of thing. For now, let's stick with a one-on-one. We're going to call this an intro consultation. Give it a name. The name is what the other person that you're sending it to is going to see. The location, this is important. Is it an in-person meeting? Is it a phone call? Are you using Zoom? For now, the simplest thing, since we haven't set up anything else, is to say it's a phone call. And you have two options. Either they should call you or you're going to call them. Whatever you choose, the person you're having the meeting with will see I should call them or they're going to call me. So now let's say I will call them. The description is where you tell the person that you're having the meeting with what it's all about. So for my business, we'll say it's a 20-minute get to know you call. All right, here. So at this point, we can choose how long the meeting is going to be. So we'll choose, let's say, 20 minutes here. You can choose a custom amount. The date range is important. So this is when events can be scheduled over a period of rolling days. This means it's 60 rolling days means any time between today and 60 days from now, tomorrow and 60 days from tomorrow, etc. Better practice is probably for most businesses to have fewer rolling days, because if people book too far out, they can forget about the meeting or get less excited and are more likely to not follow through. So I would say let's call it 2 weeks. You probably don't want people booking more than 2 weeks out. The other options, real quick, are you can set up over a specific date range or indefinitely. But what I would recommend is over a period of rolling days and keep it to a relatively small number of days. Here is where you set your time zone. It's automatically detecting where I am, and it's going to do the same for the people that we're inviting. So availability is you're able to set it for each individual day of the week for this particular meeting. So for this 20-minute meeting, you can click on the day, and you're going to choose intervals that you're available. I would suggest keep putting it in chunks when you know you're going to be in the office and you know you're going to be available to take calls. And also chunks that allow you to focus on the calls and keep you from getting too distracted in the other work that you're doing. So let's say we want to have these 20-minute calls between 9 a.m. and noon each day of the week. So we're going to apply it to all Tuesdays. Then on Wednesdays, we'd prefer to have calls in the afternoon. So we'll say from 1 p.m. to 5. Apply to all Wednesdays. From Thursday, the availability is a little different. Say we want to have it, we have about an hour window in the morning. We can add a second interval so that people can book times at another time in the day. So let's say we also want people to be able to book calls from 3 to 5. Apply it to all Thursdays, and then Friday we don't want to be available at all. Great. So the next step is to go to the Advanced tab and set the time slots that you want to make available. So when people go to book a time, it's going to show availability in different increments. So in this case, we've got a lot of different options. We picked a 20-minute meeting. So let's say a 20-minute increment. If you want to max out the number of events you can have in a given day, this is where you do it. We don't want to have, say, more than 5 20-minute meetings in a day. And we want to be able to prevent events. We want to be able to prevent last-minute bookings that might keep us from, that we might not notice and that we might end up missing. So the easy thing to do here is to prevent events that are less than, let's say, 24 hours away. You want people to book at least a day in advance to give you enough notice to do whatever prep you need to do for the call. These buffers are also pretty important. They allow you to have a couple of minutes between each call. So I would recommend having at least 5 minutes between each call to give you a few, just to give you a break, give you a chance to regroup and prepare for the next call, or do whatever it is you need to do. Do we want to hide the event from our main Calendly page? No, this is a public event. This is something that that when you send the link to people, you want them to be able to see it. All right, so after you've chosen when people can book the call, how long it's going to be, the buffer between the events, you'll click Save and Close. It'll take you to you have a few more setting options you can choose here. If you want to ask any questions of the people that are booking the call with you, the defaults are your name, email, phone number. You can also add a few other questions if you'd like. You can add things like, what's your budget? Or questions, comments. You can make it required so that they have to answer it to be able to submit the form, or not required. We'll leave it with just the default questions for now. The notification section allows you to send email or text notifications and reminders to people that have booked meetings with you. It also, you can personalize the invitations that you send to people. So if you get a calendar invite, let's say you want to personalize it, here's how it's going to come into their email and onto their calendar. And if you want to send an email invite instead, you can click on and then personalize and say, hi, this is the name that they put in. Friendly reminder that your event with me is at this time, at this date, in this location. You can make it a little friendlier, a little bit more personal if you'd like. And you can add a number of reminders, so really however many you want. You can have one a day before, and then let's say one 30 minutes before. You can also choose to send text reminders if you like, and have a cancellation policy if that's appropriate for your business. The confirmation page is what people see once they've clicked to book the call. The default is to show the Calendly confirmation page, which is just confirming the details of the call. And if you've got the Calendly widget integrated onto your website, which we're going to show you how to do next, it's fine to leave it like this. If you want, you can also redirect them to an external site. So you have a website or a YouTube video that you want to send them to. You can do that by clicking this and putting in the URL here. Let's leave it as display the Calendly confirmation. Click Save and Close. The last option is to collect payments. We're going to skip that for now. It's a pro feature and it's not necessary for most people. So now we can view the page. Calendly creates a page for us here. You can see what it looks like just as a default page, and you can send this link to people as is, and you're basically ready to go. You can click on a day, see availability, and as we've specified, we have no availability on Fridays, and everything is in 20-minute chunks here. All right, now let's walk through now that we've got this event set up, let's walk through how to set this up on our WordPress website. We'll click Home on the Calendly, which will take us to see all of our different types of events. This is the one that we just created. If you click the little settings icon, you'll see an option to add to website. All you do is click this button, add to website, and you have a few different options. Inline embed just means that the widget itself will show up on your page as is. Pop up, obviously you're going to click a button and it's going to pop up. The simplest option for now is just let's do inline embed. Click it, click continue, and it's going to give us some code. All you do is click copy, log into your WordPress website, and create a new page. All you do is click add new, give the page a name, and in this section, you're in the editor, click the text editor, and copy and paste. Now we're going to preview. And the widget is suddenly on our website. you'll notice you can see this. It's got the branding on it. You can sign up for the Pro option to take the branding off, but for most people that doesn't really matter. If you want to see availability, we don't have any in March left, so we'll now click and you can see same availability as we saw from Calendly now displayed here right on your website. And if everything looks good, just go back to the edit, click update, go back to the page and refresh it, and you'll see that the Calendly integration is there, active on the web page. And you can send this link to anybody that you want in your email. You can put it in your email signature. You can put it on your LinkedIn profile. You can do the same with the link on Calendly. If you'd rather not put it on your website, you can just go back to your Calendly homepage, find the link that you want, find the event that you want, click copy link, and it's copied to your clipboard. There it is. And anybody that you send this to can now book a call with you at their convenience. That's all there is to it. If you have any questions about how to get Calendly set up right or get it onto your website, leave them in the comments below. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, just click the subscribe button.